Hello, dear listener. You are welcome to Humphrey Ministry. We thank you for spending your precious time with us today. The topic for consideration is marital expectations. If we only had 3 wishes in life, one of them would likely be to have a perfect husband or a perfect wife. Someone who will treat us like the king or queen that we believe we are. A marriage where we will have hugs and kisses every day. If we could only snap our fingers and get our perfect spouse, that indeed would be a miracle. In marriage, an expectation is something you hope to receive from your spouse. And it could be for one of 2 reasons. It could be you believe that it is the duty of your partner to provide it, which means you believe that it is your right, or you believe that you deserve to receive that thing from your partner, which means you have earned it. It could be for one of these 2 reasons. In our matrimonial homes, we all have individual needs and wants that we hope will be fulfilled when we get into marriage. So we expect love, respect, submission, protection, listening, friendship, faithfulness, obedience, intimacy, godliness, honesty, finance, and comfort. At the end of this message, we would like you to post some of those expectations that you believe spouses expect from each other so we can learn together. A spouse can become dissatisfied with their marriage when expectations are not met. That is, some of the important wants and needs that we have are not fulfilled by our partner. This feeling of dissatisfaction can become aggravated when we believe that our partner is not doing enough to provide our expectations. And this situation can lead to frustration, friction, and conflict in our homes. As an irritated spouse, we will look for ways to express our displeasure. So from wives, you will hear statements like, "He is very secretive about his finances. He does not protect me from his family. He only comes close to me when he wants me. And I don't think he is ready for the responsibility of marriage." We'll also hear statements from husbands that go like this: "She does not show me respect. All she cares about is how to spend money. Sorry does not seem to exist in her dictionary," or "She does not know how to manage a home." At the end of this message also, we would like you to provide us with statements that you have heard that indicate that spouses may not be satisfied with receiving the expectations from their partners. Now, but where do marital expectations come from? 3 sources. They come from parental upbringing, they come from peer interaction, and they also come from promises made. In parental upbringing, we see situations where a spouse would like their own marriage to be patterned after what they have observed between their dad and their mom. Or they would like their marriage to resemble the relationship they had individually between them and either their mother or their father. Now, we will say that it is okay to observe our parents and to want to have certain relationship types that they have in their own home. But please, it would be nice for us to remember that the beautiful relationship that we saw between our parents took time to develop. There were times of frowning, arguing, negotiating, quarreling, and I'm sure times of forgiveness and reconciliation in order for them to arrive at what we saw when we grew up to be a beautiful marriage. And it is also true for us to realize that some of the things we see as beautiful was because one or both partners was suffering and smiling, which means what we saw was not actually agreed or enjoyed. It was actually tolerated and endured in order to have peace in the marriage and in the home. Your spouse is a unique person and should not be compared with your parents. It would be nice to remember that husbands and wives need to disconnect from parental influence and develop a new home based on the uniqueness that we see around each person's personality. In peer interaction, the expectations that we have come to have about our spouses have been influenced by our friends, business associates, colleagues in the office, family members, and brethren. They will tell us how they have managed their own relationships or what they heard about how others managed their own relationship. Now, so usually we will get solicited and unsolicited advice as to what to expect in our matrimonial homes. Many of these are innocent. They do not intend us to have any harm in our homes. But let us remember that we need to weigh each advice against scriptural principles. And sometimes we need to tweak these advice so that they suit the peculiar circumstances that we have in our own homes. For example, if a man loves to cook and indeed is a better cook than his wife, both of them could agree that she goes to the market, he does the cooking, she does the dishes. A friend may walk in and observe the husband in the kitchen while the wife might be in the parlor and may assume that something is wrong and begin to whisper advice. Or you attend a church service or a marriage seminar where the resource person says it is a shame for a man to be in the kitchen. Please step back and manage your home in line with what you have agreed as husband and wife. Concerning promises made, one or both parties now have expectations because of the beautiful words that they heard from their partner. Now, before marriage, we make promises in order to ensure that we retain the intent of our partner to proceed with us to the altar. We don't want to be abandoned. And sometimes we try to please our would-be in-laws so that they would maintain the support that they have for our proposed wedding. Some of these promises we know that we cannot fulfill or we do not intend to fulfill, and so it is not right to make promises that will become a problem in your matrimonial home. Now remember, a broken promise can result to a broken heart, and it is ungodly not to fulfill a promise. Please only make promises that you know you can and that you intend to fulfill, so your marriage indeed will not have unnecessary expectations. If for any reason our marriages now are turbulent because expectations are not met, there is hope. What we need to do, number one, is to have a conversation. So we need to sit down, husband and wife, and it is not a time for accusations, and it is not a time to be defensive. It is a time to take stock, to express our hearts. We'll take down notes of what we expect from each other. We pray with each other and for each other, and each party, husband and wife, leaves that table, go back and try to be a better husband or a better wife, trying to meet the expectations of their spouses now that we have had a calm environment under which our expectations have been mentioned and they have been explained. Secondly, we will need to determine if our expectations are realistic. If we have expectations that are not achievable and that are unrealistic, we will create tension in our homes. A constant reminder to my partner that they are not meeting up with expectations will cause them to have low self-esteem. The person may become withdrawn, Or in extreme cases, the person might try to do whatever it takes to meet my need. And sometimes we will see that women go to such extremes as to patronize child traffickers simply because they want to satisfy their partner's expectations. Or some men have been forced to go back into their offices or their cooperative and take funds that do not belong to them because they're trying to meet some financial expectations in the home. Thirdly, it would be nice to give what we expect. Now, so a husband might expect that his wife would always discuss financial issues with him before she executes them. Perhaps the man is the breadwinner, but he does not have those conversations with his wife. He says, I earn the money and I have the right to do what I want. Tables might turn and the woman might become the breadwinner in the future. What will the husband expect then? So we all need to give exactly what we expect from each other. Remember the book of Luke chapter 6, verse 31, it says, whatever you want people to do for you, do the same for them. International Standard Version. One more thing that we need to do is make the first move. In some situations, we observe the lapses in our partner, and when they do not respond quickly to meeting our own expectations, we decide we will not also meet their own expectations. This will just result in tit for tat and will not result in a healthy home. Please remember 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 9, which says, do not pay back evil for evil or insult for insult. Keep blessing others. In concluding this conversation, please remember this. The easiest way to change your partner is to first of all make changes yourself. When you make changes to help to meet the expectations of your partner, by God's grace, your partner will reciprocate, and then they will make the effort voluntarily to meet the needs and expectations that you have attempted to force them to do in the past. It may be wise to appreciate God for what you have while you are prayerfully and patiently waiting to see the changes in your partner that you expect. Take some time to thank and appreciate God for your partner. Now, he or she may not be perfect, but God can make them sufficient for you. Please work with your partner to agree principles that will guide your home and apply them to the peculiar circumstances that you have. We at Humphrey Ministry wish you the very best. May God continue to be our Father, and may we continue to be His children. God bless you.